Hi there, Jan here today. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do some more embellishments and show you kind of how I'm going to use these embellishments and things. I've got a few bits and pieces together here. I put these little tiny bits that I've been making up on my group this morning. So I'll just kind of talk to you about those. Let me just chuck them off of here. I didn't realise I still had them on here. So I'll tell you about what I've got and what I've been making and things and what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so yeah, these, let's just move all this lot out of the way. So yeah, these little tiny embellishments that I've made, Christmas embellishments, and I've just made them from that little tiny punch that I think I showed before, and I can't for some reason. Oh yeah, here it is. This little tiny one, little very cheap one. And yeah, so I just then shape them with the ball tool by just pressing down into the middle onto a soft pad. And then what I've done today is, because I wanted my the things that I was going to do to be sort of snowflake themed, I picked out some of my smallest snowflakes that I've die cut out of that white glittery paper. Just check I'm in shot. Yeah. And basically stuck them sort of to it, you know, and I just used these bits and pieces. And I haven't got any leaves to show you because I used oh yeah, here we go, it's a green one this time, but I used the gold ones. But anything like this that's actually you know, a die, and then I've just cut all the individual leaves off of it and just arranged them and used those curly bits and pieces that I've showed you before. Hold on, like this. And yeah, I just like cut them across and stuck them underneath the leaves. What I did really first was I used the snowflake and put a load of the green, you know, the what I've done in gold. Like I say, I stuck that on first, and then I put something like that on top, and then I put the flowers on, and they've all come out different, and they are all less than an inch across. So yeah, they're just like really useful, and I'm going to show you today how I'm going to use them. So okay, now the other thing I want to show you as well, don't know if you've ever done this before, is inchy tiles, they're called, or inches. And they are exactly what it says on the tin, to be honest with you. They are inch sized little tiles like this. Let's move these out of the way for a minute because I'm not going to use those. They're like this, and all I did for them, out of my spare paper that I had, bits and pieces, I cut them into inch squares. I think there's groups and that on Facebook, on YouTube that do, and Facebook that do just concentrate on these inches, because they used to be quite popular. I don't know if they still are, but actually, to be honest with you, they're supposed to be a whole work of art in a 1-inch tile. So you can decorate them as much as you want. That's the whole idea of them. And they're just little tiny little, you know, tiles like this that you can use. But then, you know, I suppose people think, well, what would I do with them? So what I've done with mine is I had some other spare cardstock that I would have thrown away, and I cut 3 additional layers. So disregarding this top embellishment, there are 4 layers of card thick, but you could do 3 layers. You can actually use them completely flat, it's up to you. I just wanted a little bit of height and dimension in mine. So I stuck all the 4 layers together, ending with the top patterned paper, which I had as a scrap. Then I added my snowflakes to the top, just in, you know, different places all over, angled all over them. I'm just looking around frantically trying to find a snowflake. Oh, well, I can use the ones that I showed you at the start, can't I? So you know, like I just put them here, and one here, and one here, one here, just randomly. And then once they were dry, I turned them over and cut round the back. And then I inked up the sides of the card. And for this one, I used the Memento die, and I used Northern Pine, and just sort of went all the way around it so that you couldn't see all the different colours of cardstock that I used. You can see the layers in this one because the top layer's not stuck down completely for some reason. I have to redo that bit. And then I went over them, forget about the flower bit, but the actual tile, I went all over them with glossy accents glue, and I gave them 2 thick coats of glossy accents and left them overnight to dry. And then when they were dry, I just randomly stuck on some of these little elements that I've been making this morning. So yeah, I tried to aim where there's little gaps and things, but you know, I didn't make too much of a big issue out of it. I just stuck them on different corners, different positions, and they are what I'm going to be using today. So I'm going to be making how, you know, like a decorative tag, and how I use, or I might use, a decorative tag on a card. And just to give you some ideas, to hence all this stuff. And all this lot here is what I've got left out of those original 3 sheets of paper. So I think that's done really, really well. And basically I've just cut them into different size strips and fishtailed the ends of them, and I'll use them for banners and things. But those 3 sheets of 12-inch pad paper went really, really far, because all the cards that I've made in this little series so far, I've ended up with just these bits left, and they're all made out of the same paper. So I was well pleased with that. Right, put that out the side. So the first thing I'm going to do, what I'm going to do today, I want to make 2 different tags, but I'm only doing one today. I'll do another one hopefully tomorrow. Oops, get rid of some of that glue. And what I'm going to make today is gift card tag. So I'm going to use my tag on my card to give a gift card to somebody, right? So I looked it up, and a standard credit card or gift card is 3.5 by 2.25 inches. So cut that out, make sure everything fits. And a standard tag, if you're there's another lot of pictures and websites and all sorts of things about decorating tags. They're quite a big thing as well. And the standard tag is 4.5 by 2.5. But let me just measure this, because I've got a feeling I didn't cut this correctly. So I think I did. Yes, I did, yeah. So I've done 4.5 by 2.5 wide, and fortunately a gift card is 2.25 wide, so it will fit on there. And I'm going to use it to as a gift card holder. I'm going to make a folding tag on the front of a card. So then I've made a mat, which is 4 3/8 by 2 3/8. So I just took 1/8 of an inch off of it. And this is my mat that I'm going to use. So I've cut them out, and I've got, this is my gift card, this is my tag. Now I've cut 2 tags today, and I'll show you why. This is the main tag, and this is the front piece that's going to go on it, like that. That's the mat that's going to go on it. And this is a second tag that I've cut, because my paper is not double-sided, it's only single-sided. So if I just folded it down here, I'd have just white on both sides, but I want patterned on the bottom. So I've cut the same size tag, but I've also added a little 1/4 inch fold on the left hand side, and I've folded that up. I've scored and folded it up, not down, so it looks like that. Now what I also have done is I've inked up this piece here, so you can see, in a red, because you're probably gonna see that on here. So just in case, I've inked it up, and yeah, so that's where we are. So that's my top one, that's the bottom one, and I've punched a hole in the center of both of them. I put them both together and then punched the hole. The other thing I have to say is that I cut these, so I cut the rectangle and then I measured across the middle and then cut these pieces off. So I found the center like this. I found the center, and then I did 1/4 inch either side, making that 1/2 inch, and then I took it down 1/2 inch as well. So I've actually cut off 2 triangles that are the width of half the card and by 1/2 inch. Hope that makes sense. Okay, right, so the first thing I'm going to do is assemble this. So I have, as I say, I've scored and folded it. I hope it makes sense to you anyway, what I was saying. I've noticed I've got some pencil marks on there, so I'm just going to rub those out like that. And I was thinking that when you put the tag on the card, what if it's not double-sided paper like mine isn't, this bit here is fine, it's going to be stuck to the card. This bit here will show when you open the tag like that, and that could be where you could write an additional little message on there, same as like on the inside. You're going to put a little message on the inside. So yeah, just thought you could do that. Or else just cut another tag the other way round and attach it to that, so that you've got double-sided, or ink it the same as I've done on here. Right, okay, so the first job I need to do is to attach the top one to the bottom one, and then that's the little fold that I've got there. Okay, let me make sure I'm still in shot. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this up. I like my wet glue. Should have it on a mat really to stop my desk getting all covered in glue. But of course I haven't. I will do in a minute. I'll just get there it is. Got to be right there. And now I'm just going to attach this by lining it up with the bottom one and just sticking it down so that they are both lined up completely. You can't see the bottom one from the top, and the holes are lined up and everything else. There we go. Right, so I'm going to be able to keep this tag card, I suppose, what you'd call it. Hang on, let me just try and get that off because it's not lined up properly. There we go, that's better. That's better. That's better. Yeah, there we go. Right, so I'm going to keep this closed by a ribbon closure. So yeah, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Now, for the card base, I've already stuck it on. I've just got a fairly plain base, again, because I don't want to detract from the actual tag, which is going to be the embellishment that's on here. So again, these are like the little mini elements of an embellishment, but the tag is actually the embellishment that I'm making today. It's the tag. Right, and that's going to sit in the middle there like that. Okay, and the back of it is going to be stuck down onto the card, so the back won't be going anywhere, and you just sort of open this bit like this, Right, but let's get this. I'm just trying to think at the moment whether to stick the card down and then work on it from there, or whether to make it might be easier actually. So yeah, I'm going to stick this down to here, but I'm not going to stick this top portion where this hole is. So I'm only going to stick where the mat goes, because I'm going to thread the ribbon through there later. Yeah, I'm trying to rush through these because I know I can't edit them, and I'm really, really sorry about that. I hope it doesn't make it too boring for you. I'd really love to know actually if you're making any of these embellishments, or if they've given you any ideas or sparked an interest in you that you'd like to try them. So yeah, I'm just going to get this kind of centered up with a gap at the bottom and a bit of a gap at the top, like that. Okay, I think that's pretty much straight. Not a lot I can do about it now, but then it opens like that, and you know, you can write your message in there. And what's going to keep it together is a ribbon. Okay, and this is one of my 1,000 bows that I made the other day with the fork, so that's going to go on there. So the first thing I need to do is to attach this section here to the front. So that's my mat, and like I said, the mat is 4 3/8 by 2 3/8, and it just fits, you know, and it just gives a nice little border all the way around. Now you can see a bit of a mistake there, but you can see I'm going to cover that up in a minute. What I did with this, to try and make sure that I keep all these tiles, which I'm actually going to stick onto here, to make sure I keep them all straight and in the right place, and that I have lightly scored it from the back, and unfortunately it went through because it's quite thin paper, but that's okay. I can you can sort that out, that's not a problem. So I'm going to place this on here, and then like I did with my white roller pen, this one, the gel pen, I just carried on the pattern of the stitching across the top, up there and across there and down there, so it kind of all goes together. Right, so I'm going to stick this down. I hope my explanation of the little tiles is simple enough. If not, and you let me know in the comments, then I'll do a short video where I'm making one of the tiles. But they really are the most simple thing. You just cut your main paper into an inch square. You cut either some craft foam, or as I had today, some leftover bits of card into inches, and stick them on the back till you get the, you know, the size you want, and then basically you decorate it. And you can stamp on them. You can, I mean, I glazed mine first so that they looked really glossy, like proper tiles, but you don't have to. You can stamp on them, you can do anything you want, you know. You make really lovely ones, attach any tiny little bits and pieces that you've got. Right, so that is now my tag that opens. I've got another piece here which I'm going to attach to it in a minute. So the first thing for me is now to arrange my little tiles in the squares that I've scored. So what I'm choosing to do is like have one up in that corner, try and move it over a bit. Not the easiest thing to do when you've got a shaky hand problem. I'm going to have one in this little section here. So I'm putting the flowers to the outside if I can. And then I'm going to have another one here. Might turn that round actually. So it just sits nicely. So yeah, the snowflakes I stuck down before I glazed the little tiles and trimmed them off, and so they're in it, they're part of it. You can't, you know, it's smooth and you can't differentiate between them. So those are going on there like that, and then I'm going to use my little flower embellishments to go in between. So it's basically, it's, if you break it down into its smaller elements, it's the simplest thing ever. First of all though, I've just realised what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this bit down. So this is a little pocket, a little tiny pocket that I've made, and this is actually, the whole size of it is 3 inches by 1 inch, and I scored and folded 1/4 of an inch either end, because this is going to hold my little gift card, and that's the size we need. So I'm just going to glue down the sides, down the side, and a little bit along the bottom, very thin little line along the bottom, like that. So I'm just going to stick this down at the bottom, one there, only at the bottom, one there and one there. Hold that just till it sets a little bit, like that, while it's still wet. And then I'm going to stick it almost at the bottom of my tag, not quite at the bottom but almost, and then try and get it sort of centered up so there's a little gap either side of it, like that. Press that down, make sure it's straight, give it maybe a little burnish over with your bone folder. You can decorate this little pocket here if you want to, but it's got to be relatively flat because that's got to fold over it. I knew it, I've gone over too far. Hold on, just going to have to move this. Hopefully I'm going to catch it before it sets up. It needs to go there, because I don't want I stuck it over the fold in the card. You've got to be really careful that you don't do that. So sorry about that. Let's take that bit off. Probably going to need a bit of re-gluing. Yeah, so don't kind of be aware that you've got to miss that fold. All right. It's stuck, but it's going to need a bit more glue. So I'm not worried about these bits where it's come up because it's, you know, the tag, the pocket's going back down again. It's not a problem. Obviously try not to make a big boo-boo of it when you're doing it like me. But yeah, so it's worthwhile opening your card and popping that pocket in so you know it's going to miss that side, and just shove it over. There you go. That's perfect. That's fine. So yeah, you can decorate this. I did try actually with these, but so I thought that looks nice, I'll put that on there, but it makes it, well, it's a little bit bumpy. I mean, they're not too bad actually, as long as you make it a fairly flat embellishment like that one is. You can do that. So, you know, I might use that actually. Or I have a couple of sentiments, I might use that one to go on there, depending on what I'm going to put on the front. Right, so now we're going to stick these tiles down, and this is the pattern I've chosen. You can obviously choose your own pattern, stick them any which way you want to, You can put them all in a line. Look, if people make cards and they use them, they might put them in a line. You can put them in groups of 3, so you've got like 9 on there on a card. They're really, really versatile, and I just think that they're probably a bit underrated. I don't think people give them enough credit. I love doing them because when I got, you know, haven't got a project on and I've got a load of little tiny scraps, I can't think of what else to do with them, rather than chuck them away, you can make these. You can make them circular as well. That's nice. They're called artist trading coins. So yeah, those little lines that I put on there, I am using to help me line this up. You don't have to if you've got a really good eye, but I'm doing this card at sort of arm's length, so you know, because of the filming, so it's going to be like that. Okay, then the next one, I'm going to try and use one that's on the side, and I'm going to pop that there. Hopefully this video won't be too long for you, but I'm going to do another tag video tomorrow, but for a different reason, a different thing. I knew I wanted to do this one as a gift tag, so whoops. There we go. Let me make sure if that's straight. Yeah, so if you're making this, I mean, you don't want any dimension. You don't actually need to build the tags up. I just particularly wanted them with some like dimension on them. So I've done them like this, but you know, you can just cut out squares of paper and put them on here. Put them on your card. Another thing to do is to stamp an image, colour it all in and make it really nice and decorative and everything, and then cut it into inch squares and then rearrange it in a random sort of fashion. That looks really nice as well. That's well artsy, that is. Right, so that goes on there. And this one is going to go on here. I asked you to have a look at that card that I did those banners on. Was it yesterday or the day before? And tell me which banner top you liked best. And I would make it into the card and show you. But at the moment, it's come out equal amount of people like one of the 2 toppers. So I'll wait till I get a few more votes and see what happens. Right, so that's the front of that. Now I'm going to use some more of these to just randomly put on here, because they're already made up. I'd have them in like a little box or in my drawer or something. I've got them in little bags at the moment that you can just, you know, if you've got these in different colours, supposing having this in like pink or something, you could very quickly make up a little birthday card. And rather than just giving them a gift voucher, you can put it as part of the card. When I did these, I just randomly stuck the leaves on, randomly stuck the curls, and put either 2 or 3 of these little flowers. I used some of the white ones, some of the red ones, and just put little gems on them, which, like I say, again, you don't have to do. But just, you know, try raking out your little small punches and just see what you can do with them. You know, you just put them together quite randomly and they make really lovely things. I've made some lovely like heart embellishments in the past. I've shown pictures of them. Just anything really, and it all goes together. You just put it all together and they just look really lovely. They managed to come together somehow. Don't know how, but they do. Oh, I might save that for the inside. That one there. That's quite pretty, like that one. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm just randomly placing them on. I think in a couple of days' time, I will be able to show you how I package up these embellishments, because if I was putting them in a pack for sale, I would put this tag in, this completed tag. I might put some of these little ones randomly in there, but it wouldn't be the card. It's up to the person who buys the embellishments to either make a card or use them in their scrapbook or hang it on a present, you know. So that's what I would do with them, but I'll show you how I put together the packs, because to me the packaging is as important as what's inside it. I spend as much time and effort doing the packaging as I do actually doing these bits. In fact, more time and effort probably doing the packaging. So right, yeah, I think that looks quite cute actually, and I don't think it needs anything else. I mean, I could put a couple of gems either side, but I'll worry about that afterwards, because now I've got to decide what sort of word I'm going to put on. Whether I'm going to put this on, Happy Holidays, which would tuck under there. I'm not very happy with this one, to be honest with you, because I had to cut it down because I was using it for something else, and then I decided not to use it, so I've just got stuck with this as it is. So I'd like to try and use it. I think green goes better on here than, say, a red, because it just, you know, it brings out the rest of the green. Gold, I think, would look too much. I like gold for the accents rather than the main bit. I'm just trying to fiddle with this and get it underneath the leaves and underneath that. So there's that one, Happy Holidays, which I don't know, got a bit mixed feelings about really. Or I've got this one, which is wider than the card, but I quite like it. I might actually put like little foam bits on the corners, on the ends. So I think it just sort of slots in there quite nicely. What do you think? Looks all right, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it looks all right. So yeah, let me get some foam dots out. Put the needle in that before it... Oh, stainless steel pins is what you need for these little bottles. And they used to be, you couldn't get hold of them anywhere, but actually they do them on Amazon now, and they do them in packs like this, and I think this is, I don't know, £1, a couple of pounds, something like that. It certainly wasn't much. Right, so let's find some little foam squares. If you don't use stainless steel, you end up with your glue going brown, which is not attractive. So let's just use some of these. You only want little tiny ones. Hang on, got the tweezers out. One. I do everything with tweezers, by the way, you might have noticed. Just find it easier to manage. I can control my hand better. Please, what is that stuck on there? Pop that bit straighter. And that one I've done with that one. All the way round. Just go on there like that. And that could do with being straightened up a bit, actually. Like that. And then we need two for the other end. And probably a couple of dobs of glue in the middle, just so as it doesn't move about too much. And there we are, done. Do you want me to show you how to make the boxes for these cards if they don't fit in an envelope? Because I can certainly do that as part of this series as well. They're just little tiny simple boxes. I mean, if you already know how to make boxes, then fair enough. But if you want me to show you how to measure up and how to put the box together, then just let me know, maybe in the comments, and I'll do a little mini video on that as well. Right, hang on. Come on, don't be difficult. Right, that's it. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little dab of glue. I think they came under here. The banner, the word thing came under here. So I'm just going to go for it and put a little bit of glue there. And I think the other one went about, the other side of it came about here. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue there. Again, don't have to be too precise. It's just, you know, the end little, these bits, the foam pads will hold it. Try and get it centered up, tucked in, and tucked in under there. I'll try and get it in as straight a line as I can. Let's just see if that's straight. I have to do it by eye. Yeah, that's straight enough. So yeah, like that. Right, now the pocket inside. Oops, what am I trying to open the card for? The pocket inside. Oh, right, here you go. Here's another boo-boo. This has actually got to be stuck to not further than the actual tag, otherwise you can't open it. So I am going to have to, because you won't be able to open the tag, it's got to be like that. Although it's not too bad. I can put that there like that. Good job I'm doing it like live, isn't it? And I can take these pads off. Right, and now let's see where else I could put a pad to try and hold it still. So under here, under this one, let's get this out. Good job I'm making all the mistakes here at the moment, because then you won't have to, will you? You can see I'm not a professional. I'm just trying to get the paper off it. And I think I could put another little one under there. So yeah, make sure you don't do what I just did. Make sure your tag is only as wide, or certainly only comes to the end, the hinge end. It doesn't matter if it hangs over the opening end, that's fine. But as long as it doesn't obscure the hinge end, otherwise you won't be able to open the card, like I just couldn't. Right, okay, so once that sets up there, that will be absolutely fine. There'll be no problem with it. Just make sure that's straight. And actually it might help the person open the tag. Right, let's hope it opens. Yep, all done well. There will be your gift card inside it. And I think I will just put this little banner on the bottom here rather than like wasting it. Happy holidays. And I'll see if I can get an embellishment on it as well, and it'll still close, but I'll try, because I do like to embellish just about everything. As you can tell, I love making embellishments. You can put so much creativity into them. Right, how's that? Is that straight? Let's have a look. Yeah, about straight. Right. And now, I mean, the weight of it holds the card shut. You don't have to do anything else. But if you do want to, the way I would do it is to put a ribbon. This is why I didn't stick the top of the card down. So I would put a ribbon in here. Be awkward, why don't you? I probably would do it if I was making the card again. I probably would put the ribbon in the 2 bits first, rather than trying to do it like this. Where is it? There it is. Just get my finger under there. Right, ribbon in. Loop it round. Poke the ends through. Hold on. Poke the ends through. Like I say, sorry about my clumsy fingers. I just shake all over the place. And then I would trim these off, and I think I've left my lighter in the other room, otherwise I would burn the ends just to seal them. Okay, trim that off and put those nicely, arrange those nicely like that. And I would put my bow, which I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue for, just because it's thicker. Just don't want used making, you know, doing one of my bows, used one of my bows. Thank goodness I made loads of them the other day, because I'm always using them. Oops, gloopy. Ooh, yuck. Drop it, why don't you? I hope the lighting's still okay, because it's just getting a bit sort of dull here now. And there we go. I'll just put the bow on, maybe trim it up a bit if it needs it afterwards, or tuck it in there. There we go, and it looks like a nice little gift card. Let's see if I can get one of these little tiny or flat ones inside, and whether it actually needs it or not. Okay, so in order to open it, you just loosen this. Oh no, you're going to have to open it right up, so I won't bother then in that case. But yeah, if you're going to use an embellishment, stick it on there first. And this one on mine, it's not as wonderful as I would hope it would be, because I stuck it down wrong in the first place. But this is just a demo card anyway, so no one's going to receive it in the post. Let me find a pair of scissors and just trim this back bit up a little bit to make sure it opens really properly. And yeah, so that's how I would use those little tiny embellishments, and also those tiles. Why don't you give them a go? Oh gosh, look at that ink. I have to wash that off in a minute. But yeah, why don't you give them a go and you know, see what success you have. So here's those little tiny embellishments. Like I say, they're less than an inch, because it's determined really by the size of the snowflake, or whatever you use, or the circle that you use. Oh, this little punch here, believe it or not, I got this out of a Christmas cracker. It's one of the most useful things I've ever had. I got it out of a Christmas cracker, must be 10 years ago, and it's just a single hole punch, but it punches brilliantly. So, you know, that's how I punch these holes. So yeah, I hope you like this. Let me just lift it up and have a look. It's very unusual. It's just about using your scraps up. I think it's very creative and it's artistic, and I hope you have a go. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, can you please put a thumbs up and a like and subscribe. Leave me any comments, because everything you do helps me with YouTube and helps me get my videos noticed. Okay, thank you very much, and I will see you next time, which hopefully will be tomorrow. Take care. Bye.